Nowadays, if Jennifer Lawrence suggested that dragons are real and live in a secret kingdom beneath Tulsa, Oklahoma, nobody would really bat an eye. Some might even agree. The celebrity culture seems so broken that possessing wacky, easily debunked, and even dangerous ideologies or cultish beliefs could now be considered a prerequisite for being a celeb. Once upon a time, the public was willing to pay to simply watch or listen to celebrities' amazing things. Sometimes, we even bought their wares. They can still be put on identical pedestals now, but they also have to be total weirdos who must broadcast their peculiarities. Without the weirdo angle, such individuals are merely successful people. Here is an excellent list of 10 bizarre and odd beliefs held by top celebrities. Don't forget to comment on the most bizarre and funniest thing to you on this list. 10. Lady Gaga gets her ideas. According to the famed gynecologist and part-time, award-winning pop star Lady Gaga, her creativity is housed in juices. The Born This Way singer believes that women are born differently from what all the relevant science suggests. But don't simply dismiss her as a pseudoscientific nut job. Her worry that engaging in sexual activity robs her of her creative inspiration has, she claims, kept her perpetually lonely. Lady Gaga seems to be locked into her theory. Frankly, one cannot help but feel sorry for her. Unless she's right. In which case, Evian should drop their water-based model and start bottling up women's VA. We can't even finish that sentence. 9. Missy Elliott and black cats. Plenty of people hold illogical superstitions. Some of these beliefs have seemingly practical uses. Don't cross people on the stairs and walk below a ladder. Black cats crossing your path is a bit weirder. We can point to folkloric underpinnings. Allusions can be made to witches' familiars and the devil. But what makes this superstition so weird in Missy Elliott's case? She admits that people think you're crazy for adhering to it. She still suggests that even seeing a black cat will cause her to replant her whole day to avoid whatever consequences are linked to a cat crossing your path. She knows this is nuts, but doesn't care. 8. Kyrie Irving is a flat earther. Despite pulling back a bit on his initial flat earth claims, NBA star Kyrie Irving doesn't limit his beliefs to the ones he derived from watching too much History Channel. Irving also considers it possible that the Federal Reserve Bank ordered the hit on JFK, and that the CIA orchestrated the murder of Bob Marley. Still, if Irving helps the Brooklyn Nets to a playoff spot, fans probably won't care if he suggests Oprah and Cap'n Crunch conspired to take over Venezuela on behalf of the Nazi colony on the dark side of the moon. 7. MIA thinks Google and Facebook are controlled by world governments. Aren't these companies evil enough in and of themselves? Sure, these corporations often work in conjunction with governmental bodies, given the role in public discourse and data gathering. But controlled directly by world governments, all while fronting as powerful corporations. Too convoluted. 6. Randy Quaid thinks Hollywood is trying to kill him. Randy. Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt for a moment. Let's concede that there is indeed a shady cabal of individuals who are hiring assassins to prey upon Hollywood's brightest stars and systematically bump them off too. Well, it doesn't really matter. Let's just give him that. Why him? Why Randy Quaid? And how is he privy to the knowledge that he is on the list? Was he once one of their number? An assassin perhaps? An agent? Is Randy Quaid really John Wick? 5. Former sugar babe Mucha Buena adds a conspiracy theory to another conspiracy theory. Remember when boy bands sang and made their young female fans scream and cry with joy? Remember when girl bands pumped out hits that we could all dance to? Not anymore. When you consider that a former boy band member suggests that a strange political conspiracy theory is actual, it's mildly amusing at best and mildly alarming tabloid fodder at worst. When a former girl band member adds a new conspiracy theory to justify the claim, we've entered peak idiocracy. Mucha Buena added fuel to the minor media firestorm created by Take That star Robbie Williams, when he claimed that the notorious American Pizzagate conspiracy was real. How did she do it? Well, Buena told the world that the COVID-19 pandemic was a smokescreen invented by whoever runs the world to distract from the fact that Hillary Clinton was on trial for cutting off a young child's face at a Washington, D.C., pizza parlor. Oh, and Buena stated that Obama was involved, and Bill Clinton, Oprah. Let's hope that 2021 is the year the celebs shut up. 4. Alicia Silverstone thinks the birds have the right idea. Maybe it isn't advisable to spit a gob of mushed-up fava beans into a toddler's mouth. However, some Hollywood stars, like Alicia Silverstone, would disagree. In Silverstone's defense, Mayim Bialik, Hollywood's resident supergenius, also used this strange practice with her kids. They considered it beneficial to chew their kids' food first, and then spit it into the youngsters' mouths. If it's good enough for birds, it must be good for us, right? Humans are mammals. We are not birds. Still, are these two sentences a convincing rebuttal to this practice? Not really. Silverstone and Bialik can do whatever they want. It is a bit odd, though. There's no clear benefit other than allowing your babies to ingest hard-to-swallow foods that the kids otherwise don't need until they develop teeth. So weird and pointless. 3. Rob Lowe believes he was nearly killed by Bigfoot. Rob Lowe is a legend. He also thinks that he was nearly murdered by a legend. During a shoot for his documentary series, The Lowe Files, he and his crew trekked deep into the wilderness of the Ozark Mountains in search of a cryptid that the locals had dubbed a wood ape. Despite commenting that he was fully aware that he sounded like a Hollywood kook, Lowe swore that he and his crew were threatened by the unseen legendary beast at their remote camp. Given that 2020 is official, the year the Earth went nuts, Rob Lowe needs to return to the great American wilderness. He must find the elusive race of giant hominids, and either be an ambassador to them, normalizing relations, and maybe forging a trade deal, or challenge one of their number to a death match using 1950s biker gang weapons like pipe wrenches and lengths of chain. 2. Alice Walker praised David Icke's theory that lizard people rule the world. Former professional soccer player and sportscaster David Icke have peddled outlandish conspiracy theories for years, ever since he essentially proclaimed himself to be the Messiah on the Wogan TV show in 1991. Icke's general worldview states that an underground cabal of shape-shifting reptilian-human hybrids are orchestrating major world events to enact a nefarious plan for world domination. And venerable author Alice Walker agrees. Apparently, these reptilian beings can be swapped out for Zionists, the actual enemies of freedom according to Icke and his acolytes. This is where Alice Walker agrees with Icke. Once again, it's all about the Jews. The current re-emergence of antisemitism seems so telegraphed and prosaic that it never fails to dumbfound reasonable people who still hold Enlightenment values. And yet, for an author whose life work is the complex discussion of the historical plight of her people, it is unfortunate that she should so easily fall into wholesale blame of another group, let alone a people who have been so systematically maligned and persecuted. 1. Terence Howard thinks mathematics is wrong. How do we know that 1 + 1 = 2, or maybe 1 by Terence logic? Because we were told at school. Suckers. Empire star Terence Howard has a new lesson for all you sheeple out there. If you follow the logic of teleology, then 1 × 1 = 2. Yes, that's right. You want proof? Take it away, Terence. How can it equal 1, he asks. If 1 × 1 = 1, that means that 2 is of no value because 1 time itself has no effect. 1 × 1 = 2 because the square root of 4 is 2. So, what's the square root of 2? Should be 1. But we're told it's 2, and that cannot be. Get it? No? Well, maybe you need to seek a degree in teriology. From Howard University. Excelsior.